Hello and welcome. Today we'll talk about services, which are the backbone of Zendo. Make sure to check out my previous video where I talk about the basic concepts of Zendo. Okay, so first let's start by going into services and overview. Here you can see in the demo content we have few types of services created as an example. You can also preview your service catalog and create new service. So what is the service catalog? Service catalog is one of the most important parts of your client portal if you want to use Zendo for selling services, because if we go into preview service catalog, we are redirected to the order tab. Here we can see all the services that we have created. Of course, not every service that you create will appear in service catalog. You can disable some services and they will be only available when you share their exact link, so people won't be able to access them otherwise. This is a great way to, for example, create a service for one of your clients that is unique to them. Then you can add a link to their sidebar, or you can send them the link directly through requests. The service catalog can be accessed by your client from the sidebar by clicking order. You can of course send them the link. It is always your domain name /order. If you want to share the URL with a user that is not your customer and doesn't have access to your client portal, you can do that, but to make sure that he has access, please go to Workspace, General, and here you have a Workspace access setting. By default is set to everyone. If you change this to only invited users, then your order page and your whole client portal will be only accessed by invited users. No one will be able to access your workspace or register. So let's check this out. So for example, I save the settings. I will copy the URL of our workspace, open a new incognito tab, go to it, and yeah, I'm greeted with a login screen without the way to register anyway. Okay, so now when I go to everyone, set this to everyone, now go to the order page, copy the service catalog link, open an incognito tab, and now I should be able to see the service catalog. Yeah, it's loading. So this is how you can, for example, connect this link to your website, to one of the buttons. You can redirect people to go directly to your service catalog. They won't be able to log into the platform, but they will be able to browse the services and purchase them. So you know about the service catalog. Of course, we have different service catalog settings, but maybe I will leave this for another video. Let's go and create some services. We have 4 basic types of services. We have productized service, subscription service, custom service, and free service. So the basic difference between productized and subscription is that productized is a one-off service and subscription is the recurring service. So that's the main difference. Of course, there are different settings for each one of them, but in a nutshell, when you compare those two, the productized is a fixed one and the subscription is a recurring one. And they both have a set price. So you basically specify the price of the service, and at the checkout, your client will be asked to make a payment to submit a request. With a custom service, we have a different story, because as the name suggests, custom service is basically something that needs an evaluation. So clients do not have to pay upfront. They can submit the request, and then in return you can send them a quote, or you can ask for more questions to evaluate the project or reject the request. The last type is free service. It is similar to a custom service, but it doesn't have all the financial details, because as you may remember from my previous video, the free service was created to gather requests that are not related to a specific service. They can be like general inquiries, support tickets, etc. Because Zendo works in a way that each request lives within a service, you need some kind of service to allow your customers to submit requests. Each of the services have some common settings. Let's go over them now. So I will go to a productized service because this is the most commonly used one. Each of the services have a name that you need to specify. The name has to be unique and it is required. This is important for you to name the services in a way that when customer purchases them, they know what they purchased, and also you can easily identify what the service is all about. This name is used across the platform and also in the service catalog. The name is also used for the automatically generated URL for the service, which we will see shortly. Next is workflow. Here you choose which workflow the service will be using. I will cover workflows in a future video. Right now, think of workflows as advanced settings for services and requests. I will just say that each service can use the same workflow. If you don't want to customize those, you can just use the default one and you will be fine. The final settings, they are similar for all paid settings. You can choose a different currency for the service, enable tax, choose which payment method, if you have more specified than Stripe, will be available here, and also if an invoice should be issued upon payment. Okay, the next tab is an order page settings, and order page means basically a service catalog, but as you know, the service doesn't have to be displayed on the service catalog. You may disable it, but this will hide some of the settings. Service thumbnail and service short description are only used on a service catalog. So this is the thumbnail and this is the short description of the service. So when you don't want to show the service on the service catalog, there is no need to specify those two because they will be useless. As you can see here, we have a standalone service URL. This URL will be used for this service. If you don't want to show the service in the service catalog, but you want to share the service with one of your clients, you can copy this URL or even change the Slack to something else and send it to your customer. The next section is service order page. Service order page settings are responsible for the single view of a service. What I mean by this is that if we go on the index page of the service catalog and we go into one of the services, this is the single view of a service. So we have the image, the description, the order form, and a service summary. This summary is generated based on the items from the general tab of the service. So it is generated based on this table, and the rest can be set up here. So we have service image, service description, and an order form. The order form also can be disabled. If you don't want to gather any information at checkout, you can disable it. Also, you can rearrange the fields. You can add new fields. When you click into a field, you can edit the fields. You can also make it required. Each field type has different kinds of settings. For example, for an attachment field, we just have the label. You can choose between all of those different field types, and more will be coming in the future. If you want to share a service with your client through a URL, you can do this in few ways. First, you can go to your services, and here you can copy a service link. Just click the button. If we then paste this into the browser, you will see that it redirects us to the page. Of course, if the user is not logged in, so this is someone who doesn't have an access to the platform, they won't see the platform sidebar on their left. They will see just the checkout page. The second way of getting the service link would be to go to your service catalog, click on the service you are interested in, and then copy the browser URL. The third way to get the service URL is to go to service overview, edit one of the services, navigate to order page, and here you can find the standalone service URL. You can copy it by clicking the copy button and use it however you like. That's all the basics about services and service catalog. If you want to learn more about the specific service type, please use one of the links displayed on the screen right now. Thank you for watching and see you guys in the next one. Cheers!